What's up, guys? Welcome back to some more Farming Simulator 2017. Now with Farm Sim 2019 coming out very soon, I want to say November 20th if I remember right. I was going to start a new series with just a brand new map. I got a lot of suggestions of maps that I should play here on FS17, but I didn't really want to start that. I'd rather start a new map on FS19. So what I'm going to do is resort to Lone Oak Farms. Now, a lot of people have done series on Lone Oak Farms. I'm hoping that mine can be, you know, a little different from theirs. But we're gonna start on here. It is I have 2 fields planted. We own 3 fields. I have 2 fields planted with wheat right now. We're starting with $28,602. It is early summer, so we're just about ready, or not just about. We are ready for harvest. So as soon as we actually get into things, we're going to go ahead and get rolling on the wheat. But for this episode, I wanted to more or less just go do a quick run over, or that's not the right word either. I wanted to do a quick run through, that's what I was looking for, on just our equipment with some like cinematic shots, you know, and stuff like that. So if you guys are excited for the series though, please drop a like, leave a comment. I'd love to hear what you guys think. Let me know if Lone Oak was a good or bad choice. I personally think it was a pretty good choice just because I know I'm decently familiar with the map. I played it on Xbox, I believe, actually, the first time around. Anyways, I'm going to do a quick run through on all of our equipment. As you can see here, some of it's standard stuff you get with the map. Others, not so much. All right, so starting off, first we have 2 1455 XL Case IH tractors. They are the ones that came with the map, so they do have some hours on them already, which isn't a huge deal. They have 145 horsepower. The fuel tank has a 240 capacity, and they max out at 24 miles per hour. One of them has a hookup for a front loader. I don't think the other one does. I could be wrong on that. Then I have the FZ30 Stole front loader. I have the universal stole bucket, the universal bale spike, and then we have 2 Case IH 1660 axial flows. Is that how you pronounce that? Axial? Whatever, you guys will correct me on that. Both of them have 190 horsepower. Fuel tank, we're looking at 350, and then they have a maximum speed of 12 miles per hour. As far as capacity for grain goes, we're at 6340, so 6,340. And then we have 2 Capello or Capeo Caser F4. It has a working width of 3 meters, and these are specifically for sunflowers and corn. Neither of them have any hours on them, which is great. The Case IH 1030, that's the 14-foot or 4.3 working meters. So with this, we can do wheat, barley, canola, and soybeans as well. These do have some hours on them, but that's not a huge deal. Moving on to our disc or our cultivator, we have the Vogel Newt Terra Disc 600. Never heard of this brand before. It's one of the ones that comes when you actually start up the map on normal mode. I don't think we're playing on hard mode. I'm pretty sure it's just set on normal mode. It requires 180 horsepower to pull, which is just fine. Our 1455s should be able to pull this just fine. I've tried it once already and it didn't have any problems, but it has a working width of 6 meters. I don't know what that equates to in feet. Hopefully in 2019 that it'll actually show us the conversion rates for, you know, meters and feet and all that. Moving on to the plow. It took me 3 actual hours, so 3 real-time hours to plow with this thing. It is the Salford 4204. Has a working width of 2 meters, so we're looking at like 2 rows at a time on this thing. It's super slow. If I can upgrade it soon, I definitely will, because there's, I think, 2 more fields that still need to be plowed, 2 out of the 3. But it requires 85 horsepower to actually use. It does have a couple hours on it, but no big deal. Like I said, I'd kind of like to get rid of it immediately. And then we have the Bredel F2WS 4000. It has a working width of 24 meters. You can go 12 miles per hour while using it. It has a capacity of 4 4000. So this is a pretty good little fertilizer. I have used it a couple of times now on the fields, and it's worked pretty well. It's not as wide as the sprayer we have, which the sprayer is the Carell Nicholas. I don't know if that's the correct pronunciation of that, but it's the Stila 460 or Stia 460. I never know if they're like Hispanic brands. The two L's right next to each other really throw me off on these. Capacity is 4600, that is 4600. It has a working width of 28 meters, so 4 more, I believe. Yeah, 4 more meters than the fertilizer spreader. Requires 95 horsepower to actually use, whereas the fertilizer does not have a horsepower requirement. This thing can go 7 miles per hour, while the fertilizer can go 12. So it is a lot slower. It does cover a little bit more area, but from what I've used with it, it's phenomenal for an entry-level sprayer. Then we have 2 New Holland Discbine 313s. Basically, it's just the rear attachment mowers. With the Lone Oak Farms, you start out on the cow farm, so this will actually be kind of handy. I don't have to go out and buy 2 new mowers. I can just use these with the 1455s and we'll be good to go. So they have a working width of 4 meters. You can go 13 miles per hour while using them, and they require 130 horsepower to use. Moving on to the Lely Lotus 1250 Prophy, I believe. Working width of 12.5 meters, requires 80 horsepower to use, and you can go 11 miles per hour while using it. This is the tedder that we're going to use for turning grass into hay, which is going to be very, very useful as soon as we get cows. Took us, I think, 10 episodes on UMRV to be able to purchase cows, so hopefully we can get them sooner than that. Moving on to the Koon GA 9531. It has a working width of 9.3 meters, can go 11 miles per hour while using it, and it requires 75 horsepower to actually pull. This is going to be the windrower, so we're going to be able to arrange the grass, hay, or straw in rows, and then we can scoop it up with either a forage wagon or a baler. I do have a baler, which is ironic because it's next on the list. We have the New Holland RollBelt 150. Internal capacity of 4,000, so it's going to make 4,000 bushel size bales. Pretty small bales. They're definitely not huge. It does require 70 horsepower to use, and you can go 12 miles per hour while using it. It makes round bales, I believe. Moving on, we have our auger wagon, which is a MetalTech PP 20. It has a capacity of 28,000, which is perfect. Next on the list, we have the Joskin AquaTrans 7300S. It's in the name. It has 7300 for its water capacity. This will be very, very useful for transporting water for the cows whenever we get those. Next, Chevy C70. It's basically just an old grain truck, but surprisingly has a capacity of 50,000, which is phenomenal, and it goes 80 miles an hour, and it has a 500-gallon fuel tank. Horsepower, we're looking at, it's 175 horsepower. It doesn't have any time on it. Should actually be fairly helpful considering our auger wagon is 28,000. So this thing should be able to transport at least 50,000 bushels, no problem. Moving on, this is where it gets really, really interesting. I went ahead and sold the original seeder or planter that spawns in with the map, and we got the John Deere 1760. We don't have any John Deere tractors to pull it. I would really like to have a John Deere later on so we can have the John Deere tractor pull in the John Deere equipment, but for now, this will be just fine with the case. We're looking at working width of 9 meters. It has a capacity for seed and fertilizer of 2190, so 2190, and then it does require 120 horsepower to pull it. Can't plant corn, but for now we'll be fine with just wheat, canola, and soybean. You can go 9 miles an hour while pulling this thing. I have used it already and it's worked great. I know the previous John Deere planter that I had used on UMRV, you couldn't hire out a worker with it, so it's kind of inconvenient, especially when you had like a million other things on the farm you had to do. So hopefully this thing is actually a lot better. It's not near as wide as the other one I used on UMRV, but it should get the job done. And that actually does it for all of our equipment that we're going to be using just to start things off. So if you guys are excited, go ahead and leave a comment below. Let me know if maybe there's something that I skipped over or something I should have talked about, but I'm pretty excited. Let's check on this because I'm actually curious. No, it is canola. Okay, so I was totally wrong in the beginning when I said that we had 2 fields planted with wheat. We actually have 2 fields planted with canola. Anyways, that's gonna do it for today's video, guys. Again, if you are excited, leave a like on this video, leave a comment, let me know what equipment I should get next, what you guys want to see first, if you guys just want to see harvest first, or how we want to do that. But I'm getting more and more excited just thinking about it. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.